I couldn't shake off the feeling that my life was stuck in a never-ending cycle of poor decisions and flawed thinking. I knew that something needed to change, but I didn't know where to start. That's when I stumbled upon The Art of Thinking Clearly, and it was a revelation. When I first picked up this book, I was at a point in my life where I felt like I was stuck in a rut. I couldn't understand why I was making the same mistakes over and over again, and why my decision-making seemed to be clouded by emotions and biases. I had heard about the book The Art of Thinking Clearly and decided to give it a try. It's a collection of 99 different cognitive bias or error in thinking that we all fall victim to, and Dobelli presents these biases in a clear and concise manner that was easy for me to understand and apply to my own life. Through reading this book, I was able to identify the biases that were holding me back, and I was able to start making better decisions for myself. Whether you're a student, a business professional, or just someone looking to live a better life, this book has something to offer you. So, if you're looking to make a change in your life, or if you're just curious about how to improve your thinking, I highly recommend picking up a copy of The Art of Thinking Clearly by Rolf Dobelli. 1. Survivorship bias, the tendency to focus on successful individuals or things while ignoring the many that failed. 2. Swimmer's body illusion, perceiving one's abilities or attributes as better than they actually are, compared to others. 3. Clustering illusion, perceiving patterns in random events and believing that they are non-random. 4. Social proof, relying on the actions of others to determine what is correct or good. 5. Sunk cost fallacy, continuing to invest in something because of resources already invested, regardless of its current or future value. 6. Reciprocity, feeling obligated to repay someone for their kindness or gifts. 7. Confirmation bias, selectively seeking out information that confirms one's beliefs. 8. Authority bias, giving too much weight to the opinions of authority figures. 9. Contrast effect, evaluating things relative to others, instead of objectively. 10. Availability bias, making decisions based on easily available information, rather than considering all relevant information. 11. It'll get worse before it gets better fallacy, assuming things will get worse before they get better. 12. Story bias, being influenced by compelling stories and narratives, even if they are not entirely accurate. 13. Hindsight bias, perceiving past events as being predictable after they have happened. 14. Overconfidence effect, overestimating one's knowledge, abilities, or likelihood of success. 15. Chauffeur knowledge, having only a superficial understanding of a subject, without truly understanding it. 16. Illusion of control, overestimating one's control over events or outcomes. 17. Incentive super-response tendency, responding disproportionately to incentives or rewards. 18. Regression to mean, assuming that things will eventually revert to their average or typical level. 19. Outcome bias, judging the quality of a decision based on its outcome, rather than the information and reasoning that went into it. 20. Paradox of choice, feeling overwhelmed and unhappy with too many choices available. 21. Liking bias, giving preferential treatment to people or things we like. 22. Endowment effect, valuing things more highly just because we own them. 23. Coincidence, perceiving a connection between two events, when they are actually independent. 24. Groupthink, conforming to the opinions of a group, without considering alternative perspectives. 25. Neglect of probability, neglecting the role of chance in events or outcomes. 26. Scarcity error, perceiving things as more valuable when they are scarce. 27. Base rate neglect, ignoring basic information or background information when making decisions. 28. gambler's fallacy, believing that the outcome of a random event can be influenced by previous events. 29. The anchor, being influenced by an initial value or starting point, when making decisions or estimates. 30. Induction, making predictions or generalizations based on limited data or observations. 31. Loss aversion, feeling more negative about a loss than positive about an equivalent gain. 32. Social loafing, reducing effort when working in a group, compared to when working alone. 33. Exponential growth, difficulty in comprehending exponential growth or decline. 34. Winner's curse, the tendency to overpay in a bidding war or auction. 35. Fundamental attribution error, attributing someone's behavior to their character or personality, instead of external factors. 36. False causality, assuming that just because one event followed another, the first event caused the second. 37. Halo effect, allowing one positive trait to influence perception of a person's overall character. 38. Alternative paths, focusing on what could have been instead of what actually happened. 39. Forecast illusion, overestimating the accuracy of predictions. 40. Conjunction fallacy, believing that specific combinations of traits are more likely than others. 41. Framing, how a choice is presented can greatly influence a decision. 42. Action bias, the tendency to take action, even if it is not necessary or helpful. 43. Omission bias, the tendency to judge inaction as less unethical than an action that produces a similar outcome. 44. Self-serving bias, tendency of people to attribute their own successes to their personal abilities and efforts while blaming external factors for their failures. 45. Hedonic treadmill, tendency to adapt to their circumstances and become habituated to new levels of well-being, leading to a sense of emotional sameness over time. 46. Self-selection bias, the belief that people who volunteer for something are more competent than those who do not. 47. Association bias, allowing prior experiences to unduly influence judgment and decision-making. 48. Beginner's luck, the belief that success early on is due to skill, not just chance. 49. Cognitive dissonance, holding conflicting beliefs and attitudes, leading to discomfort. 50. Hyperbolic discounting, valuing rewards and punishments as less important when they are in the future. 51. Because justification, believing something is true just because someone said it or gave a reason. 52. Decision fatigue, making worse decisions as the number of decisions increases. 53. Contagion bias, negative quality or characteristic is contagious and can spread from one entity to another. 54. The problem with averages, assuming that a single average accurately represents a group. 55. Motivation crowding, external rewards can decrease intrinsic motivation. 56. Twaddle tendency, talking too much without adding substance. 57. Will Rogers phenomenon, improvement in one area can be offset by worsening in another. 58. Information bias, seeking information even when it won't affect decisions or beliefs. 59. Effort justification, the belief that effort invested leads to a greater appreciation of the outcome. 60. The law of small numbers, assuming that small samples accurately represent a larger population. 61. Expectations, expectations can influence perception and behavior. 62. Simple logic, oversimplifying complex issues. 63. Forer effect, tendency to rate general and vague personality descriptions as highly accurate and specific to themselves. 64. Volunteer's folly, tendency to overestimate the benefits and underestimate the costs of volunteer work. 65. Affect heuristic, allowing emotions to strongly influence decisions. 66. Introspection illusion, overestimating the accuracy of introspection and self-knowledge. 67. Inability to close doors, difficulty making final decisions and sticking with them. 68. Neomania, preference for new and modern things over older, tried and true options. 69. Sleeper effect, delayed influence of previously discredited information. 70. Alternative blindness, focusing on a limited number of options and ignoring others. 71. Social comparison bias, comparing oneself to others to evaluate personal abilities and worth. 72. Primacy and recency effects, giving more weight to information at the beginning and end of a list. 73. Not invented here syndrome, refusal to use or adopt ideas, products, or services developed outside a company or group due to preference for self-made or internally developed solutions. 74. The black swan, a rare and unpredictable event with significant impact and consequences, often not accounted for in decision-making. 75. Domain dependence, the inability to transfer knowledge or skills learned in one field or situation to another. 76. False consensus effect, the tendency to believe that one's opinions and actions are more widely accepted and normal than they actually are. 77. Falsification of history, the revision or manipulation of historical events to suit a particular perspective or agenda. 78. In-group out-group bias, the tendency to favor one's own group and discriminate against those outside it. 79. Ambiguity aversion, a preference for clear and certain outcomes over uncertain ones, even when the expected value is the same. 80. Default effect, the tendency to go with the default option because of perceived convenience, inertia, or lack of awareness of alternatives. 81. Fear of regret, the fear of making a decision that may lead to regret or loss, often leading to inaction. 82. Salience effect, the tendency to prioritize information that stands out, even if it is not necessarily the most relevant or important. 83. House money effect, a tendency to be more willing to take risks with found money or winnings, instead of one's own money. 84. Procrastination, the tendency to delay or defer taking action on a task, often leading to missed opportunities or increased stress. 85. Envy, a negative emotion caused by the desire for something another person has or the desire to be like someone else. 86. Personification, the attribution of human qualities and emotions to inanimate objects, abstract concepts or non-human entities. 87. Illusion of attention, the belief that one is paying attention to everything happening around them, when in reality they may be missing important information. 88. Strategic misrepresentation, the intentional distortion of information to achieve a desired outcome or gain advantage. 89. Overthinking, the tendency to overanalyze or excessively ponder a situation, often leading to indecision or anxiety. 90. Planning fallacy, the tendency to underestimate the time, resources, and effort required to complete a task or project. 91. Déformation professionnelle, a cognitive bias in which an individual's professional expertise or perspective leads them to see problems or solutions in a narrow or limited way. 92. Zeigarnik effect, the tendency to remember incomplete tasks better than completed ones, leading to feelings of stress and anxiety. 93. Illusion of skill, the belief that one has greater control or ability than they actually do, often leading to overconfidence and poor decision-making. 94. Feature positive effect, the tendency to focus on and prioritize features that are easy to measure, even if they are not the most important or relevant. 95. Cherry picking, the selective use of incomplete data or information that supports one's argument or position, while ignoring part of information that contradicts it. 96. Fallacy of the single cause, the belief that a single cause or factor is responsible for a complex event or phenomenon, oversimplifying the situation. 97. Intention to treat error, the failure to account for differences in treatment outcomes that are not due to the treatment itself, leading to incorrect conclusions. 98. News illusion, the belief that one is well informed because they regularly consume news, when in reality the news often focuses on sensational and unrepresentative events. Thank you for watching our video on The Art of Thinking Clearly by Rolf Dobelli. We hope that you found the information shared in the video to be helpful and that you feel more confident in your ability to make well-informed decisions. Remember, the strategies and techniques outlined in the book can be applied to a variety of situations and can help you think more clearly and make better decisions. The Art of Thinking Clearly is a valuable resource for anyone looking to improve their critical thinking skills, so if you're ready to make positive changes to your life, give this book a read. We hope you found this video to be helpful and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Thanks for watching.